gorgeous girls, gorgeous girls. Yeah, give it a clap. Please clap.
Thanks.
Now, I chose this clip because, I don't know, it represents to me an amazing kind of element of your show that I think you just nailed in such an authentic way. And I think I often get it talked about in Starstruck as well, about authentic female friendship portrayed on television. I think there is, I think there's been so many iterations of amazing female friendships like that I was inspired by with the Starstruck, like even like Broad City or stuff like that, where you see, I think, very realistic and authentic kind of instances of women writing for women.
Yes.
And like a clip like that is just like, I kind of just like got little goosebumps when I see stuff like that, because it just felt like every night getting ready for going out, like that I've experienced with my own friends. And how hard was that? Or how actually not how hard, how I don't know, freeing was it to be able to be in control of writing that dynamic between four very, very close friends? Like, was it fun? Did you, and also writing it by yourself, like, you know, was that you talking to yourself as four different people? Was that weird?
It was, I had that same thing that you had. I mean, I can't imagine it with you with the edit, that I had to. Maggie is obviously just a sort of essence version of me a million miles away, but you know, but I had to just think about her as a complete. It's too existentially weird.
100%.
It's just not good for the soul, I think, to be sitting around talking about Dolly's character or Rose's character, or whatever.
Completely.
But I'm so glad that you chose that clip, because something that I've always felt happy about is I am fine just talking to women. I don't mind that I don't really have a male audience. And you know, it's nice when they come, but they don't.
I love that. It's nice when they join in.
It's
they
nice
can,
when
you know.
join in.
But you don't need
join
them.
in, fellas. They like to join in sometimes when their girlfriends drag them to literary events and make them watch my show. But I like the idea of that thing that you said, that like women talking to women. I like the idea, like a male friend of mine came to an event that I did once about everything I know about love, and he said it was like this book was written, it has an invisible ink on it that men can't read, that is like magic to other women, and that really meant a huge amount to me. And I like the semiotics of a night out, the semiotics of living together was so important for me, and China, our director, just got it so much, and she really was the storyteller for that side of things with the home. And she knew that when there was a radiator, there should never be a pair of knickers not on it, gusset side up. That, you know, there should never be, that we wanted to capture like that feeling of women when they first move to a city together, of like the enmeshment of that, how disgusting girls can be together, how silly, how claustrophobic, how childlike, how cozy and romantic. And that's what we wanted in these. There's so much of them at home,
100%,
which is so useful with shooting in a set, right? You know, I'm sure it's the same with yours. Get your money's worth, exactly. And I liked, you know, it was her idea, because I come from a reality TV background. I used to make structured reality. So the hangover that I have from that, which used to drive China fucking mental, is, I don't know if you've ever watched Made in Chelsea, Rose.
Oh, I have.
Okay. Have you noted that at the beginning of every party, it is two clinking glasses, and then it's someone laughing, someone gossiping, two people dancing, a girl putting lipstick on. So the way we established atmosphere in Made in Chelsea would be montages. Every event, it always started with montages. And China was like, what is these montages in these scripts?
You wrote them in?
And I would write these montages, and she was like, we're not in reality land anymore. They're too time consuming, it's too many setups, it's too, you know. So because that was originally meant to be a montage, and she was like, this is not, first of all, it's not very artistically interesting. And second of all, it's just not the best use of our time.
Totally.
So she had this idea that I was very nervous about, of doing a one camera setup, and then showing that thing of the best part of the night when you're a girl, which is getting ready and the anticipation of the night, and the girls coming in and out, and this, you know, this idea of them, like, you watching them building their womanhood, their adulthood together, and you know, the small signifiers, the packets of not having dinner but having 10 packets of crisps, and the tip, you know, the tape on the tits. And so we did it, and the girls loved it, because the four of them are really serious actors. You know, Arlia was still at RADA when we hired her. Marley's really serious actor. Belle's obviously done lots of Hollywood stuff. Emma's incredibly serious. So for them, they liked the challenge of it. We're going to shoot it like a play. So we put the song on, and then we just let them do their own thing. for an hour, we did take after take after take,
So
and they were just buzzing, those girls at the end of it.
100%.
And yeah.
Because TV is, I mean, that would be so much more fun than the montage, like of getting like cutaways. Like, you know, it's for actors especially. It would be such a exciting experience to do that, and you can see it come through. And what I love about this friendship group as well, and I think something I noticed with more stuff made like about women and written actually by women and no longer written by men who have met one woman in their life, but is that, and I've noticed it's a reaction to my friendship with, you know, Kate's character in my show, who's my real life best friend, Emma, is that the authentic nature of female friendship sometimes, or friendship in general, is that you're total bitches to each other sometimes. Do you know what I mean? You're not always the supportive, sassy best friend character that you get in rom-coms. And the idea of like another character challenging you, and like it's actually like in our show, it's like we're actually quite mean to each other quite a lot of the time, which you know suggests like deep intimacy.
Of course, exactly.
And that intimacy of like these characters who get on each other's nerves and like living in the situation where it's like they're not always like, oh babe, like you know you look beautiful, like you know it's not always that. It's always sometimes like why have you not done the washing up? You know what I mean? And I love that element of it, and it feels so real. And
Well, thank you for choosing that clip. We are now going to show a clip which is my favourite clip from series 1. I'm so excited for you guys to see it again. It's such a treat.
I'm not going to look.
It's so brilliant. It's one of those things when I watched it, I don't know if you have this as a writer, where it's like I felt so sisterly and like she's nailed it, and I felt so angry I hadn't written it. I was like, so good. I'm so jealous how good that is. And I loved, you know, there was something that I tried to do. There's like a sex montage at the end of Ep 4, and there's a bit where Amara's getting a walk of shame, is on the walk of shame, and she's on the clip at home, and in the stage directions it said she looks like a thotty James Bond. Because that's what I love, that you captured that feeling when you're a young, like, emancipated woman, and when like casual sex goes well, and you feel like you've hit your stride, you just feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
It's just
absolutely. I mean, I've done it at the Edinburgh Fringe. I walked down Nicholson Street like that. It was a funny thing with that though, because a lot of the reaction to that clip when it came out was that it was like, oh, it's a reframing of like the walk of shame, and the idea it never crossed my mind, which is such a great indication of where we're at in the world, in the sense of like, in what way would I be ashamed for having sex and walking home the next morning? And it was. I was thinking though, what you were saying about like writing it. It is a very confident thing as a writer in a script to be like, and then I like, you know, I've had sex on a canal boat, and then I walk home and do a cool dance to Return of the Mac, and it's gonna be great. It's a really hard thing to sell in a script.
Totally, I know what you mean.
But you know, when we make it, it feels like a fun part of it. But yeah, no, that was a fun one to shoot. I mean, in the middle of October, I had my period and a bad back, and and also that was like, there was only one take there. It was like miserable weather. I started bucketing down that afternoon. There was only one take with sunshine that we use like when I'm walking this way and stuff. Completely unchoreographed. That was all off the top.
Was it?
It was a bit freestyle. Yeah, it was freestyle.
I think
it was a freestyle. I mean, thank you. Don't clap for that.
We must clap.
There was a person who I was interviewing to direct a series 2 who did not end up directing it, who was like, when they were interviewing, they were like, that clip, that bit's so funny because you're so shit at dancing. And I was like, we're done here. Okay, great. We are done here.